Welcome to The Sacred Journey. The Sacred Journey is the program that reminds you that life is a wonderful adventure and each and every experience we have is a unique and perfect opportunity for learning. I'm Joyce St. Germain. Tonight's program is Rose Quartz, the stone of unconditional love. And I have over the many years, I want to say 25 years that we've been doing a show together, I have presented work on stones and crystals and ideas on how to work with the mineral kingdom, but I've never just focused on one particular stone. I want to do that tonight, and I've chosen rose quartz. The reason for it is it's such a sweet, gentle stone. Its medicine is unconditional love, and who doesn't need to be reminded about that or need to have that restored within them, or perhaps want to offer that as a gift to someone else. And I'm looking around because I have all kinds of rose quartz shapes and objects here, and I'll be sharing all of them with you, along with some ideas on how you can welcome rose quartz into your life. So as I said, rose quartz is the medicine of unconditional love. If you're new to working with the mineral kingdom, every stone has a unique property or gift. Some are more newly discovered than others. Rose quartz has been around for a while, and it has been appreciated for a while. In fact, I think it's been underappreciated. If you're not familiar with it, it's a lovely pink color, a soft pink, not a bright pink, and it can vary in color from this is a pretty even pink to something with a lot more transparency and lightness to it. Here are two different rose quartz hearts. You can see that they differ quite a bit in how pink they are. They both carry the same medicine, and this one has some interesting striations or lines in it. So, being the stone of unconditional love, it stands to reason that because it's pink, pink is the color of unconditional love, and it is. It is not a chakra color. People go, well, how about the heart? It isn't the color of the heart chakra. That's green. But when we restore our beautiful light essence or God energy, white light, whatever you want to call it, we're able to then imagine or manifest a pink beam of light that would go from our heart to someone else's, our heart to another animal, our heart to a place in the earth, our heart to a group of people. Unconditional love means asking nothing in return. And it's a gift, it's non-manipulative, it's a gift to use however the receiver intends and wishes. Okay, where to begin? I'm going to begin with the little bitty hearts. Okay, these are just tiny little hearts that I'm not sure if you can tell, but I buy by the dozens. The reason for that is I love them. I love gifting them to people. I love putting them in unexpected places. So I make sure that I always, at least as often as possible, have a fresh supply with me. Where do I put them? Well, they can't cause any harm to the environment. I might leave one out in the woods after a lovely hike as an offering of gratitude. I might leave one if I were visiting a memorial for someone. I might leave one there as a gesture of love and unconditional love. It's not specific to a particular person, place, or thing. I have often, in going to a memorial or a wake or a service for someone I love, I might leave one at the table where the cards are left. And when and if it's appropriate, I have put them in the suit jacket pocket of my dad when he was being waked, and also for my uncle. So it's a beautiful gesture for someone who or whom was deeply loved. I just lost my aunt, the wife of my uncle, and she had spoken about that rose quartz heart that she had seen me place in my father's pocket and my uncle's pocket. And they weren't blood relatives, but they were incredibly dear to us, my mom and dad's very, very dearest friends. And one of the most dear persons on the planet to me. So you can bet I'll be conducting her memorial next month, that I will make rose quartz a really, really important part of it. Now this is a rough rose quartz. You can see it is not polished, unlike these, which are polished. And this happens to be a pendulum. And we've done pendulum work in previous sessions, and I will just swing it back and forth, which is my neutral. And then all I have to do is think. I don't even have to say it out loud. You can see it's already in action. Please show me a yes or an affirmative motion. And that would be a clockwise circle. Thank you. Are you happy to be shared with our viewing audience to teach them about unconditional love? And you can see I'm getting that same yes response. This is a rose quartz bowl. Now I have some regular, I have a, not double terminated, but a double pointed crystal here. You can see the little one there. And I have a triple pointed one. And I'm putting them in here to offer them the gift of unconditional love. So quartz, regular clear quartz, which we have covered in past shows, is a transmitter, a receiver, and an amplifier. So it's both amplifying the medicine of this rose quartz bowl, and it's also taking in unconditional love. So then when I remove it, it will embody or carry some extra medicine to it. I have used this as a justice of the peace. I'm blessed to conduct marriage ceremonies and renewals. And if it's a ring ceremony, I will place the rings in a rose quartz bowl during the ceremony. I will tie them in a sweetgrass braid, which represents love, prosperity, and health. And I wrap them in the braid, and it asks that only sweet things come to the couple. And then I gift them with the braid to put in their home so that only sweet things come into their home. But a rose quartz bowl could be used to put things in it temporarily or long term to have them take on the medicine of unconditional love. You could put water in this because it is waterproof, it's stone. You could put water in it and then make a compress. If you have a plant that isn't doing so well, you could water the plant with it. If you have an animal in need of some love, you could stroke them with this. You could make a compress and place it on a wound of a person or an animal. There's a lot you can do with it. If you are honored to help someone transition from this life to their spiritual life, or to transition from the physical to the spiritual, you can even tuck, and of course this would all be done knowing the person and knowing their receptivity, and perhaps even having discussed it with them, tucking a little piece of rose quartz in their pillowcase, or if they would like to hold it, or putting it in a pocket. If it's made into jewelry, wearing it along the alignment where the kundalini or the life force rises, so along the main channel for the major chakras, so as a pendant or something like that, that's a great thing to do, because energetically it's very, very easy for it to be received by the body. Earrings, they also work well. Ring and bracelet, also wearing it on the left hand is more receptive than wearing it on the right, but your body would enjoy it anyway, and your energy field would be taking in the medicine of it. This is a rose quartz dagger. I use it in shamanic work. It's looking a little bit more white, but it's a lovely shade of pink. I just don't think the lighting here is picking it up as nicely as it could. But I use this for energetic cord cutting. I have many different stone knives, but I chose rose quartz because that's what we're working with. And this lovingly and respectfully helps one to release and cut energetic cords that are no longer useful or that are harmful. Here's another rough piece. It's quite pink, which is nice. This and this carry the same medicine. Okay, you don't have to buy big polished things that are more costly than something like this. Carries the same medicine. It doesn't matter how large or small it is, how deep pink or not it is. The color and the fact if it has a lot of markings or inclusions, that's just personal choice. Something like this I use in my shamanic work a lot. I might take a quartz, and I'll show you one of my major ones. Excuse me for stepping out of the frame. I might use this, and if I were going to transfer energy and wanted to have that energy come through unconditional love, I might use it that way with my breath. I could use it this way with my breath. It depends on my intention, but these two partner well together. You might find it as a little stone with an inscription on it. These two came in a package of different types of stones, which I shared with you in a previous show. One says forever, one says health. The forever one might have some beautiful roles that it could play in a wedding ceremony. Health, that could help someone who's on a healing path or in need of healing. An early piece that I got is quite heavy, but I'll pick it up. This is rose quartz. It's not happy to be lifted, so it's a light, and when it's sitting flat, it doesn't flicker, and it's a beautiful shade of pink, which is so hard to see, and my apologies for that. It needs the weight on it. It looks as if it's a salt lamp. It is not. It is rose quartz, and it's much heavier than a salt lamp, and it's a lot more durable. It doesn't crumble like salt would, but pink on a salt lamp has that same beautiful property of unconditional love. We might find spheres of different sizes in rose quartz. Now, I work with spheres a lot, and I like them because I like to hold them in my hands. I like to offer my gratitude for the medicine, and I ask that the medicine enter my body through my hands, and that it remain in whatever ways I say right and perfect for me, or will allow me to be of service to others. And then even when I'm not holding it in my hand, I recreate it. I ask for that medicine to come back in a way that I can then offer to others. And then when I do my hands-on healing work or shamanic energy work, I can use the medicine of unconditional love as an offering or a gift for the people I'm working on. So this time I've put one on a pedestal, and I apologize, it does not show up so well here as it does in person. But it is a beautiful shade of pink. Maybe if I turn it off, you can see the color better. But when it's illuminated, it's still quite pink. It's just not showing that well. Now, I've been waiting to show this to you for a couple of reasons. It's very heavy and it's new. I'm just welcoming this into my home for maybe the last week or so. It's a rose quartz heart, and it is lovely and beautiful and magnificent. And the reason it is so large, I just said that it doesn't matter what size your rose quartz is, it carries that same medicine. I like this because it is large enough to be visible in a class as the center of an altar, as the center of a healing circle. It just speaks to group energy, and it just visually makes you know there is more than enough unconditional love to go around. Now, this one I've used many, many, many times in healing work in person or by Zoom, and it's very portable. I've carried it with me because sometimes if I'm away and I still have committed to do healing work, this is something I'll bring with me. And again, thank you, excuse me, and thank you to my stone, but excuse me for moving out of the frame. I make sure that it's in a little protective pouch. So all your stones, even though they're stone and they're durable, they can chip, they can crack, they can break. By the way, if you have a stone that chips, cracks, or breaks, it still has great medicine. And so the pieces of it still carry that medicine. But if you're using a pendulum that is polished, I have a polished one somewhere. I know I do. Here it is. Not rose quartz. Sorry that I'm not better prepared. But this is not rose quartz. But if it were chipped, it wouldn't swing well and it wouldn't give me accurate responses and answers, so that I would say only with a pendulum does having a chip or a crack make a difference in the usefulness of it. I have an entire tray of rose quartz spheres. So when we do group work here, everyone is able to be in direct contact, direct connection with unconditional love. I think it's helpful. And if I'm in person with people, and there are also people joining us by Zoom, I invite them to connect with the medicine by holding one very close to the camera and asking them to focus on it. First eyes open, then eyes closed. And to recreate it, I might move it around so that they can see some of the inclusions, and recreate it and respectfully ask if that medicine could find its way to them as they're growing and learning and hoping to be of service to others. And it has not failed. People are able to then recreate it energetically and work with it. Well, how would you work with it? Well, for yourself, you can put it in your pillowcase to sleep. You can carry it in your pocket, whether it's a heart or whether it's just a tumbled piece. Tumbled piece means it's smooth, but it doesn't have any, it's just more of an organic shape. It doesn't have a defined shape that was created on purpose. You can put it in bath water. Okay, you would put it in something like a little pouch or something first so that it wouldn't go down the drain and you wouldn't have to worry about that. You can make sure it's clean, put it in a glass of water, put it in the sun, glass, not plastic, and not even metal, glass, so that sunlight comes through. It's okay through window glass, doesn't have to be outside, although it's lovely if it could be. And ask for it to offer its gifts to the water, and then you can drink the water. You can bathe in the water. You can water plants with it. You can give it to your pet. You can soothe a wound with it. Unconditional love. If you're not able to be physically present with the medicine of rose quartz, call upon it. Go into a prayerful state. Go into a meditative state. Think about rose quartz, what it looks like, what you believe its medicine to be. Ask if it could find its way to you to gift you with that medicine for yourself or others. It is not selfish to ask for a gift for yourself. Self-care, talked about this in the past, is really, really important to being able and capable and ready to be of service to others. And others, I don't just mean to set up an appointment with someone and to be able to do something for them. We live our life in service to others, strangers, one person, a small group, a huge group, the collective human or animal or earth energy. It does not have to be just one thing. We don't have to justify. Well, if I could have some unconditional love for me, then I would have more to give. Just ask for it. These beautiful stones do not say, I'm going to pick and choose. I might let this person have some of my unconditional love, but not that person. Doesn't happen. If you ask, and then if you offer your gratitude, that's all that's needed. Rose quartz pairs beautifully with other stones. Not all stones like to be paired with other stones. This one does. It recharges in sunlight. Okay, so it absolutely loves sunlight. And some people say, well, how do you clean your stones? There's some different trains of thought on this. Sunlight cleans them. Intention cleans them. Some people say, well, you need Himalayan salt water and no, you don't need. If you prefer, you can bathe them in water. Sometimes I'll take some of my stones and crystals and put them out in my waterfall, and I'll let the water cleanse them and the sun hit them if I wish. They don't collect icky stuff for doing this kind of work. Exceptions would be if you are using a quartz point, maybe like this, and you're doing extraction work or moving energy around. Yes, you're intentionally and temporarily collecting stuff or holding energies in the crystal, then you need to remove them. Okay, and there are shamanic techniques that we use to do that. But then I also take a feather and I'll lightly stroke all the sides of this with a feather. Okay, that's my intentional way of saying thank you so much, and I'm just lightly cleansing it to bring it back to its readiness for use. What would happen if I forgot to do that? Nothing. I just like to do it as a part of honoring its work. Now, how do I know what its medicine is? Well, about 40 years ago, I started studying the properties of stones and crystals and started collecting them. And this has been one of my longtime favorites. Not one person, not one single person has an inside track to what stones and crystals offer and what their medicines are. Many people have different ideas, and they're all right. A different stone might show its usefulness to you in a way that it wouldn't be useful to someone else, because it's based on your knowledge, your receptivity, and your experience in this and in past lives. So, yes, use resources from people you know and trust. Be open to what the stone is telling you, and be willing if something doesn't feel right to you about what you read or hear about a stone's property. It might not be right for you, and it's okay. It doesn't mean everything else about that person's writing or beliefs is wrong. Take what's right for you, make it your own, and always be open to what this stone or crystal has to say to you. Another way that I use it is sometimes as a hypnotherapist, I might have a person in a deeply receptive state, in a hypnotic state, and we might even physically have the person hold rose quartz. If they're working on love, I might have them hold it, and because their conscious mind's out of the way and they're not having limiting thoughts, they're quite receptive, I might have them imagine all of this energy, this unconditional love going to them, or I might imagine them offering it to someone else. This is especially useful under hypnosis or just in meditation or visualization for yourself, for someone that you can't have or with whom you can't have an in-person meeting. You can visualize them being gifted with unconditional love. So I think I've covered some of the basics. I'm looking around to make sure I haven't missed anything of rose quartz. One last thing. If you move into a new home, or if you're building a new home, doesn't matter what type of home, apartment, rental, doesn't matter. You would be adding some loving energy or medicine to your home by having 4 pieces of rose quartz. They can be hearts, or they can be any shape, or just tumbled stones or raw stones in the 4 cardinal points: north, east, south, and west. It doesn't matter if they're evenly spaced, as long as your intention is to invite unconditional love into your home. I keep using the word unconditional love, and once during some shamanic work, a very wise animal helping spirit said, "You humans have a very weird expression, unconditional love." I said, all love is unconditional, or it's not love. And I thought that was pretty wise, and I appreciated that. So I think on that note, I will end. Thank you for joining us on the sacred journey. We'll catch you next time.